rest of us can introduce ourselves. My name is Mr. Scott, and I am one of two counselors at Discovery Middle School. My partner's name is Mrs. Shevlin, and she's actually in the classrooms at Discovery Middle School right now working with next year's 8th graders on this same stuff. But you will meet her later.
I am Mr. Clark. I am one of the counselors at Liberty Middle School, and I will be your counselor for the next 3 years, if you go to Liberty Middle.
And I'm Mrs. Brown. I'm one of the counselors at Heritage Middle School with the gentleman that you see up there, and I'll be your counselor.
And I'm Mr. Anderson at Heritage Middle School also. So, South Valley counselors are not able to be here today, but the information that we share today will be the exact same for them too. So don't worry if you're going to South Valley, okay?
Lindsay.
Quick show of hands. How many people are going to DMS? Raise your hand.
DMS, that many?
There you go.
Oh, all right.
How about LMS? Okay.
Yeah.
How about Heritage? Okay. Awesome. And South Valley Middle. Okay. Awesome. So great representation for all the buildings. So today, we're really excited to, number one, just meet you guys and see you and talk about 6th grade a little bit so that you kind of have some information to consider when you think about classes that you might want to take, or if you have questions about middle school, things like that. That's kind of why we have this presentation. And then what we do is we give you a week to consider all the information and the class choices, and then you're going to fill out an enrollment form for us so that we know what to put in the system for you and try to get you the classes that you want. Okay? So we'll kind of go through all those things kind of slide by slide, and we'll get started. So one thing that we talk about a lot of times with 5th graders is just the difference you can expect from 5th grade to 6th grade. And here are some of the big ones. You spend most of your day here with one main teacher or two. And you also have rotating electives, which is a little bit different. You might have to wait until a certain day of the week to go to art class, for example. Okay? But in middle school, if you were to select art as your elective, you would have that every day in one of those semesters. Okay, so it's a little bit different like that. You also have up to 7 different teachers that you work with. So your teachers are by different subjects. All right, so that'll be a little bit different. And one of the things that I always try to remind you guys about is make sure that you're practicing your communication skills with your teachers this year as you finish up 5th grade. Because when you have 7 teachers, it's really important that you're able to ask questions when you get stuck and things like that, if you need help, things like that, okay? So with 7 teachers, that becomes really important. If you look at, on both lists, you'll see clubs and activities. That's because no matter where you go in Liberty, there are going to be all kinds of ways to get involved. And we really encourage that because you guys are coming to 6th grade, and it's going to be a blend of lots of different 6th graders that you may not know. Okay, for example, at Heritage, we have 5 different schools that feed into our building. So a lot of students don't know each other, and one way to meet new friends and get involved is to join clubs or activities. So I'd like you to think about it, EPIC. I know you guys do a lot of cool stuff, but think about what are some activities or clubs you participate in at EPIC right now. Raise your hand if you have an example. Yeah?
Choir.
Choir, yeah, great. What else?
Strings.
Strings. Anything else?
Nope. Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, what else?
We used Girls on the Run.
Girls on the Run, great example. Okay.
Recorded?
Yeah.
Recorders.
Recorders.
At music time.
Okay.
We had the Tunneloo. And we have it today.
Very cool. Any other examples? Clubs, activities, things after school you stay after for, you participate in? Yeah.
Kids Zone.
Kids Zone, okay. Anything else? So, at middle school, we have very similar clubs and activities, whether it's music, or whether it's athletics or intramurals, or whether it's service learning opportunities where you're helping out in some way. I know you guys do a great job of that here. There are just a lot of ways to get involved. And so I really encourage you, when you think about 6th grade year, not only think about classes, but think about how you're going to get involved and trying to meet new people. Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. And then the last thing, I know that you guys help out with the younger grades at Epic, right? How do you guys do that? Give me some examples of how you kind of mentor. Yeah.
We helped kindergarten build garden beds.
Yeah, very cool. What else?
We go to their classrooms and like read their paragraphs and check it.
Okay.
This is something that not everyone else in the class does, but me and a friend of mine have gone around giving some social skills.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, help them out like that. So, just like you guys, we try to have mentoring within our building. And the way that looks at middle school is we train 8th graders to help 6th graders. So that when you guys are getting started, they can kind of help you out and come into your classes a little bit and help you with different skills and things like that. Okay? But especially when you start brand new. So we have something called 6th grade day that we're going to come back to. I want you to plan on going to that, okay? It's the day before school, and that's a chance for you to go to school, and it's only going to be the 6th graders that go, and it's about a half day. It's also full of fun activities. It's not going to be like class. You're going to be doing just fun activities and meeting the WEB leaders. So WEB stands for a program called Where Everybody Belongs, and the idea is that they help students transition into middle school. Okay, so that's kind of our mentoring program. I think you guys will like that. The pictures that you see at the bottom, this is from Heritage, so every building's a little bit different, but you'll see that you have lockers, okay, at middle school. That's kind of a big deal. You haven't had lockers maybe to this point, so those lockers are right next to the 6th grade area in our building. So we try to keep them kind of close to the classes where you're going to be around. And then the left side, you see our cafeteria at HMS. And 6th grade has their own lunchtime, so you guys would only have other 6th graders in with you at lunch. So that's just something to think about. Plus, you get to keep your same lunch ID. So that keeps that easy to remember. All right? Those are a couple things that people usually are interested in when they think about moving up to middle school. So let's start with classes a little bit. These would be your required classes, the 5 required classes that you have. ELA, math, science, social studies. And then the last one is a little bit different, PE and health, because it rotates from, you might have PE for a couple of weeks, and then you might go into the classroom for health curriculum for a week. You might go back to PE, but it's the same teacher, it just kind of rotates. So that's why we call it PE/health on that one. Okay, so that would be 5 of your hours of the day. Okay, and then we get into electives, and we have a couple of videos and pictures to kind of help illustrate this as well. But Mr. Scott, did you want to say anything about electives before I start?
I've got some advice for you, and it's just advice. You might hear different advice from somebody else, but if I had a 5th grader going into 6th grade at my home, I would tell them, see if you can try to take one of all of those, except for possibly orchestra and band. I think you have to have already a passion for that before you would take that. But especially when you get into the semester electives, I think it'd be really cool if you could take one of those in middle school, which middle school is how many grades? 6, 7, and 8, right? Why do you think I would give that advice if I had a 5th grader? Why would I think it's important?
Because you want them to try new things, right?
Yeah, I think middle school is a time to explore. I think middle school is a time to find out what kind of things you do like, and just as importantly, maybe some things that maybe you don't like. I would tell you to follow your passion. If you know already that you really, really love something, maybe it's music, maybe it's singing, maybe it's working with your hands, follow that passion. Take a class in it. Build on it, okay? But the second thing I would think about is there anything in there that maybe I can use to help me with some things I need help with before I get to high school? And I know here in 5th grade we're thinking about middle school, but strategically in the next 3 years, is there something in there that I might take that will actually help me? Let me give you an example. Mr. Scott went to school, middle school, elementary school, high school, college, went through all of that without something that you have every single day of your life. Computers. We had no technology. There was no computers anywhere to be found when I went to school. And then I became an educator and started working, and it wasn't too many years after I started that computers started to enter the schools. And for the job like a counselor, computers are a very, very big part of our job. We have to be able to use computers to be able to do much of what we're asked to do. Now, most of the people that are younger than me are much better than I am. And you know, teachers also take classes and learn. It's called professional development. And we get to choose, kind of like you get to choose your electives, we get to choose where we want to improve ourselves. Guess what Mr. Scott takes when he has the opportunity? I take technology professional development because that is going to help improve me. Am I good at technology? No, I'm not. I'm not very good at all. I have to have lots of help from other people. So I use those opportunities to learn to try to better myself. So if you see something up there that you go, I really don't like that, and I don't do it very well, there's a lot of important things in all of that. So I would encourage you to take classes with your passion, things you love. Also maybe choose one or two that, hey, I just need some help in this. I'm really not good with technology for some reason. I might want to take a computer class.
That's great. So on the left side of the screen, when you look at your options for classes, and you'll see on the left side we have full year options, and then on the right side those are semester options. How many semesters do you think are in one full year? 2. That's right. 2? Okay, 2 semesters for a full year class. How many total semesters of electives do you think you get?
6.
4. Okay? So as you look at this list, kind of be thinking, okay, if I take 2 full year classes, that would be 4 semesters. That would be all my electives. We have some students that do that because they're really passionate about music and they want to be in band and orchestra or band and choir or orchestra and choir, things like that. But just kind of keep that in mind. You only have 4 semesters total. So beginning band is just how it sounds. This is the first opportunity for you to be in band if you would like to try that. Okay? Orchestra 6 is a little bit different because it's kind of like the step 2 class. Because you guys have strings here at the 5th grade level. Okay? That doesn't mean you can't start for the first time in orchestra. You can. That's fine, but just know that most people in your class will be in their 2nd year of strings. So you'll have a little bit of catching up to do. You may have to practice a little bit more to kind of feel caught up in there. And then choir is one of those unique classes that can be offered either as a semester or you can take it for 2 semesters like a full year class. So if you really like choir, you can do that. All right. So those are some things to think about. Another thing with these classes on the left that you have to think about is the commitment outside of school. Because you do have 2 concerts typically each semester. So that'd be 4 concerts a year for each of those, choir, orchestra, or band. Okay? You also have instrument fees and things like that. So lots of things to think about with those full year commitment classes. Students can't sign up for a full year class like band and then stop at the semester and switch. So just kind of remember that because you're kind of committing to the whole band, not just to yourself on that. And then on the right side, you see the semester option. So this would be half a year, right? Because there are 2 semesters for a full year. Art Discoveries are art class. So you do some drawing, painting, some sculpture, learn about color theory and kind of work from that. Bravo 6 is our drama or theater class. It's a lot of fun. The thing I'd remind you guys about with Bravo is that it's very active. It's performance-based, so you won't be sitting back and just watching and learning. You're going to be up there acting it out, creating characters and scripts, working with groups. So people really enjoy that part about it because you're just constantly doing stuff, very interactive. Family and Consumer Science. You might hear people say FACS class. That's what this is. Family and Consumer Science looks at different units to help you with different skills. So in this class, you would focus on independent skills at home, learning how to handle emergency situations. Say if you want to be a good babysitter, you'll learn a little bit about childcare and babysitting a little bit. They also do a foods unit on basic food preparation and how to have good table manners and all kinds of stuff like that. Industrial Tech is our woodworking class. So if you like woodworking projects, this is a lot of fun. They're going to cover a lot of safety within this class too, so they make sure that you know what you're doing, so you're not being dangerous with the power tools, but After you get through that part, you get into the projects, and you learn how to finish a project and make it look really nice and stain, all that stuff, okay? Speech and debate is a great class if, like Mr. Scott was talking about, an area that you might want to look to improve in. This class would help you to have confidence in public speaking. So if you're somebody that wants to work on your communication skills, you want to learn how to present and research and write a speech, this is a great way to jump in and try that. I know that for a lot of people, public speaking is a very common fear. I think it's the #1 fear is what they say, right? This class would take the edge off of that for you, and you'd be in a class with other people who are doing this for the first time. So it's really kind of a cool opportunity to learn with a group of people with that. But it also gives you a glimpse at our debate program. And Liberty has really strong programs at both high schools. I think they're both in the top 10 nationally right now, which is pretty cool. Computers. This class is just how it sounds. You'll learn about computer skills. You'll do some coding and scripting and programming, but you'll also learn about how to stay organized and use the internet safely and things like that. Give you some skills with that. GTT Med Detectives. GTT stands for Gateway to Technology. All right, this is part of a series of classes called Project Lead the Way, if you've ever heard of that term within the district. And that's because there are Project Lead the Way classes through middle school and through high school. And it's designed to help you understand engineering a little bit differently, to learn how things are created and how we use technology to do that. And so Med Detectives focuses on how to use kind of the science behind being kind of a crime scene investigator using DNA analysis, some of that stuff. But also, within that class, you get some green architecture. So if you like to learn how things are built and built sustainably to protect the environment, then this might be the class today. Yeah.
Isn't it the class where you dissect something?
Yes. Yes. They do get into that, and I'm going to show you a video so you can see some pictures and some images of that. It's not for everybody, but for some people that's really fascinating. I love that part. Okay? All right. Once we quiet down,
Just mentioned.
I know, sheep brains. I don't know. Okay, up here, quick question.
This is all.
Anybody remember how many semesters? How many semesters total? 4. 4 semesters. So if you wanted to try a bunch of things, you could take 4 of these classes on the right. Okay?
But what about like?
Or you could do a combo. You could do a full year class and then 2 semesters on the right. Okay? Everybody's different in what they want to do.
You have to.
Boys and
now,
girls,
so
you need to stop talking so you can hear the questions.
Are you required to do music?
No, you're not required to do music yet. Okay? Let's go ahead and show you this quick video on GTT Med Detectives, and then we'll have another kind of video that covers really all the semester electives a little bit to give you a glimpse at those. I don't know if it would help you in the front lights.
Hello, future 6th graders, and thank you for taking the time to take a look at the 6th grade Project Lead the Way class, Medical Detectives and Green Architecture. Medical detective students will play the role of a real-life medical detective and analyze genetic testing and DNA found at a crime scene, as well as take a look at how the human body works. To design and construction projects by exploring dimensioning, measuring, and 3D computer design. We hope to see each and every one of you sign up for Project Lead the Way, Medical Detectives, and Green Architecture class. If you have any questions, please see a school counselor or visit pltw.org.
Alright, so I'm going to switch over to another video of some other electives for you. This next video was created by our broadcasting class, which is an 8th grade class. Alright, here we go.
In this class, 6th graders will be doing a variety of different technology-related projects. These students will be doing different woodworking projects. These projects will help the students understand safety, design, power tools, hand tools, and the finishing processes. The students will also be doing a unit on basic drafting and design. In beginning band, learning is placed on the basic fundamentals of instrument. Students will be exposed to all instruments in band. Students in band will participate in 2 concerts a year, and they will be responsible for their instruments, books, and other accessories.
This class will provide our 6th grade students with a progressive learning environment that brings concepts and facts into the age of HGTV and the Iron Chef.
Learning centers will require students to read, write, and problem solve, also communicate as they work on authentic tasks.
Enter a whole new world of music and be a member of choir.
Open to 6th graders only. Students can sing for a semester or sing for a full year. Concert participation is mandatory.
This is a practice room, not the whole orchestra.
Oh my God. It's just not working.
Art Discoveries is taught by Ms. Coates and Mrs. Brown. You can do lots of cool stuff. You can make clay sculptures, draw, and paint.
Speech and debate, you do a lot of acting. If you like to act and do a lot of speech and argue over your classmates over certain topics, this is the thing for you.
But what most people don't realize is people like Cinderella.
People like Cinderella dance.
It's like they bring it all
Alright, so again, that was created by our broadcasting class, which is an 8th grade class, and they did a good job. Of course, they kind of hype up certain things, like that last one, you know, make it kind of funny. But yeah, they did good. Let's take a look at what your schedule might look like next year if you look at this kind of like visual tool to help you. So we see the first 5 hours are your required classes. Now your classes aren't going to be in a certain order like this. This is just to show you an example. The question marks represent your 4 semesters that you can take. You'll see that it's divided into first semester and second semester. So let's see what that might look like. We add a couple of electives here. So we have beginning band as a full year class, takes up 2 semesters. And then in this scenario, they selected art discoveries and industrial tech as their additional semester electives for a total of 4 semesters. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so at this point in the presentation, we're going to go ahead and hand out your enrollment forms and kind of talk through that a little bit. If you have something to write with, if you could get a pencil and something to maybe write on, yeah, a notebook. You can sit at the table too. That's fine.
Why don't you just go back to your table?
Yeah,
Sit at your
Why don't
table.
you just go back to the spot?
You can stop it.